Hey guys, welcome. Chris Cox here for another guitar lesson. Today we're going to do Cinderella, Somebody Save Me, off their debut album, Nice Songs. Killer album, front to back. Love that record. The tuning for this song is going to be standard tuning. However, if you're going to play along with the record, you're going to need to adjust your tuning a little bit. It's not exactly too standard. But the lesson is standard tuning. So let's get started. Somebody Save Me. So the opening riff is probably played 90% of the song. So once you learn this riff, you have got a good portion of the song already under your belt. We're going to talk about the open A string. So the open A string is going to be muted, and you're going to be pretty much playing that pattern as you play the riff. So we do a So you can see how basically in between playing, switching chords, we're going to be playing that open A string. So it starts off, you're going to have your first finger and middle finger on the second fret of the D and G string. And we're going to play this. So that's again. After that last strum down, we're going to switch to the F5 power chord, which is going to be 3rd fret of the D and 5th fret of the G. So we go. So this is what we have so far. Then we're going to switch down here to the 7th fret of the D and G string and play. So this is what we have all together. And if you kind of look and dissect that last little chord there, basically it's part of a D5 chord. So that's a perfect 5th interval here on the 7th fret of the D and G, but we're going to leave out the lower portion of that chord, which is on the A string. So then this lick comes in. So let's talk about that. That's the hard part of the lick. So we're doing a slide from the 5th fret to the 4th fret on the D and G string. So we're doing a, and then you're going to hit the open A. For me, the best way to play this little riff is to kind of flatten my fingers out like this. So you can kind of see I'm flattening my first finger to slide from the 5th fret to the 4th fret. And then you're going to come down here, same strings, and play a slide from the 7th to 5th fret. So I'm flattening out my 3rd finger. And then back into the main riff. So we have a slide again, we'll go over that again. That's 5 to 4. That's 7 to 5, back to 5 to 4. And then back to the main riff. So that is the intro of the song, that is the verses, that's also part of the chorus. So, that's a huge chunk of the song. And then there's a couple little changes here and there. So before we do, I guess it'd be the pre-chorus. There's a little chord change there. So we're doing a... We hold there on the G, and then back into the... So that is basically when we come out of that slide, nothing changes, same slide. You're going to grab the D5, you can grab it there. Sometimes I'll play it and go, and come right back to that, which is, also part of that D5 power chord, but you can grab it in both places. So we'll go up here and grab it in the 2nd position. So that's going to be open D, 2nd fret of the G, 3rd fret of the B, and then back to the A5, so open A, second fret of the D and G, and then we come back and we're going to drone on this. Oops. So that's that F5 power chord we learned earlier, and it's the same kind of picking pattern, strumming pattern that we did earlier in the main riff. And then we're back into the same riff that we learned. There's another little chord change right before the guitar solo, so we come out of that slide again. Already learned that part earlier. So as we go, right before we go into that, basically you're doing that same slide, but it changes. You're doing a, so you're kind of holding that D5 and C5 perfect fourth interval for a little while. So it's slide. So the chords haven't changed, we're just, how we're playing them, how long we're going to let those notes sustain. Now you're going to go here and bar your finger across the D, G, and B string on the 4th fret, and then you're going to fret here on the 5th fret of the B, and then go up. So strum down, lift your middle finger, put your finger back down, then grab. Now this time we're going to grab, the treble strings of this D5 power chord first, 2 down strums, but then we're going to come back here and grab the 5th fret of the A string so we can play that bass note part. So we have again. One more time. In the beginning riff, we have a little guitar solo. So basically it sounds like this. So let's go over that part. So a real common guitar lick in rock music, it's kind of a chordal lick or maybe a double stop lick. So there's some technique involved in here, and again we're going to talk about like what's, it's obviously important to play the right notes, but it's also really important to make sure that we don't let other notes that are not supposed to be in there ring out. So when I'm using, my thumb and the flesh of my fingers and different things, to basically mute those unwanted notes. So like, for example, on the 5th fret here, I'm going to go ahead and fret on the 5th fret of the B, but I'm going to let the flesh of my finger touch that high E string. So it's not actually fretting the note, but it's just kind of holding it and dampening the note so you don't get any ring out there. So if you hit that, so you can see, we're only getting that note, okay? So when we play this lick, also you can see my thumb. Again, the thumb is supposed to move freely behind the back of the neck. You should never have it just completely anchored. It needs to be able to move to the middle of the neck, over the top. So just, remember that. You want to keep your thumb, obviously it needs to have some pressure back there, but it needs to be relaxed as well. So first finger is going to be anchored here on the 5th fret of the B. We're going to grab the D note on the 7th fret of the G. It's really important that you go ahead and put your middle finger behind your ring finger, because it's going to help with the bend. Okay, because that'd be a tough thing to do, just with one finger. If you've got 2 fingers in there, it's much easier to grab that. So when you play this, it's going to be played with the G and B together. So the only thing that's happening is the bend is occurring at the G, not the B string. So it's okay. So what I'm going to do here is basically this position right here does not change. The only thing that changes is where we play it on the fretboard. So the first part I'm going to consider that we'll count the G as the reference fret. So we go down to the 10th, to the 8th fret that is, to the 12th fret, to the 10th, to the 14th, to the 12th. Let's do that again. So we have 7, 10, 8, 12, 10, 14, repeats again, but this time we're going to leave out and we're going to play this. Okay, so that's going to be 7th fret of the G to the 5th fret. So and I do a little slight bend there. So when you do that, you're kind of slightly bending up, and then you're coming back down to the 7th fret, and then go to the 5th fret. So we have, so that's 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3. Play that again slowly. So a little slight bend, come back to the note, and then to the main riff again. So we have, so 7, 5, 7, 5, 7, 5, 3. Okay, so that is the main little lick as far as the intro solo. Guitar solo, it starts off around the B minor pentatonic scale. This will be the first lick of the solo. Okay, so that's going to start with, on the 9th fret of the G, we're doing a quick little bend up, a half bend. So just, and then stop the note. The second part is going to be the 7th fret of the B to the 10th fret of the B. So we do a slight little bend on the 9th of the G. Do it again. And then we're going to come back and play the 9, 7, and then do the bend of, and that's going to be a full whole step bend. So you're actually bending to this note. So if you're looking for the reference note of what you want the pitch to be, it's going to be here on the B note of the B string, so on the 12th fret. So we have, repeat that again, but add this note. Now that's going to be on the 12th fret of the G string. We're doing a little different there. We're again rocking the note up and down, so I bend to, full step, or whole step. So that's the note that you're bending to. So you can see I'm letting that note ring out. I'm not muting it or anything, and I'm just rocking it back and forth once I get it up to pitch. So bend up to pitch. Okay. From there, we're going to shift down here. So this is going to be the 20. So that's the lick we're playing. So it's going to be 20, 17, 19. So 20B, 17B, 19G. We play that. And then we do a, okay, this is a chromatic kind of blues lick, so it's, took me a while to get that one down. I just was like, I'm missing some notes in there, because I was kind of playing strictly just kind of a pentatonic, traditional blues lick in there, but it starts off as a chromatic lick, so you're doing back here at the 20th fret of the B string, so we do a, And then, once you bend up to full bend, you're going to stop that note. And then you're going to come back down and go. So that's going to be 20, 19, 18, 17 on the B string. So we have. Play that slowly. Okay, so from there we go. Oops. That last part is going to be. So that's going to be 20th fret of the G, 17th fret of the B, 19 of the G, 17th of the G, and on the 19 of the D. So play that whole thing slowly. So the next part we're going to slide into this lick. So that's going to be, you can slide anywhere from the neck, but you're sliding into the 16th fret on the D string. So we're to the 14th fret of the G. So we're playing 16, 14, 16 of the G, back to the 16 of the D, back to the 14 of the G. So now we're going to come here on the 17th fret of the B and do a full bend. And then we're going to play 17, 16, 15, 17 of the G, 16 of the G, and then back it ends here on the 17th fret of the G. So the whole lick there sounds like. So this last part is. That's based around the A minor scale, so we switched from the A minor pentatonic, or the B minor pentatonic rather, than we're in the A minor pentatonic position here because we went back into that main riff where the first part was around B. So we had that. That was based around B minor, so the second part of the solo we get back into A minor, so that's why we're into the A minor scale here. So we have. So if you know that scale, that really helps with the learning the notes here. So we're going to slide into the 14th fret of the D. Play 14, 12 on the G, 14 on the G. So we have 14, 12, 14, 13, 15, 12, 13. Play that slowly. So basically you got 14, 12, 14, 12, 13, 15, 12, 13. Now that part we're doing 15, 12, 13, 15, 13, 12, and then stopping here on the 15th fret of the B. And again, that's another full bend, so we're bending to this note, and then we're rocking that note. So we have. So let's go through that whole solo slowly. And that is the middle guitar solo.